Hi guys, this is our second video on arithmetic series, and I realize I can only record 15 minutes at a time, so that's why I'm having to take two videos. So we're picking up where we left off again. This is our second video on arithmetic series. So we left off at trying to find the sum of example problem number 3. We went ahead and filled in what we know as far as finding the sum. So we know what the sum of our pairs will be. We simply have to figure out how many terms we have in order to get the number of pairs. So I came down and I wrote that we know that term 1 is log base 3 of 2 and term n is log base 3 of 2048, and we know our common difference. And so by knowing those things, we can use point slope form, or the explicit formula it's also called. So log base 3 of 2048 minus log base 3 of 2 will equal common difference, or our slope, log base 3 of 2, and then changing your x's in minus 1. Now, as a reminder, we do have a property for subtraction of two logs. We can rewrite that as division, so we'll have log base 3 of 2048 divided by 2, which is 1024, would equal log base 3 of 2 times n minus 1. Now, actually, I'm going to write that as, since it's multiplication, I'm going to write it as n minus 1 log base 3 of 2, because I have a property here I can use. I can use the power property and say this is log base 3 of 1024 will equal log base 3 of 2 to the n minus 1. And so what I notice now is that my bases are the same for the log, so what that means is the arguments will have to equal one another. And I know that I can write 1024 as a power of 2. It's actually 2 to the 10th. So since the bases are the same, the exponents have to equal, so that means n will be 11. So now that I know what n is, I can go back and plug that in. So I'll have 11 over 2. I'm going to go ahead and write this as log base 3 of 2 times 2048 by using the power property. And I can certainly leave it like this if I choose. I could type it in my calculator and find what log base 3 of 4096 is and multiply that by 11 halves. It's not pretty. I rounded it to 3 decimal places there. Alright, so let's go down and look at these application problems that we see at the bottom. So we have an amphitheater. I think there's one at Bays Mountain. It has 50 rows of seats with 30 seats in the first row, 32 in the second row, and so on. So as I read this, there's a few things that I know. I know n is 50. That's how many rows there are in all. I know the first row contains 30 seats, and my common difference is 2. So if I want to find the total number of seats, I'm going to be finding S sub 50 will equal, there will be 50 over 2, or 25 pairs. And then I have to find what all those pairs add to. So I know the first term is 30, but I do want to find A sub 50. And I know I can find A sub 50 by coming to the side and using the explicit formula. So I'm going to use the fact that the first row has 30 seats. And so A sub 50 minus 30 will equal the common difference, or the slope, n minus 1. So A sub 50 will equal, and I do know what n is. So I'm getting 128. So I'm going to go back and plug that in. And when I do, I get 3,950, and that's seats in all. So now we're looking at example 5, and I've got some details already written down here. We have a supermarket display of stacked cans.
Whoa, is that you right there?
Yep. The bottom row has 27 cans. Each row has one less. So that means A sub 1 is 27. The common difference is -1. We also know that A sub n happens to be 1. There's going to be one can on the top row. So the first question says, how many rows would be possible? Well, I think you guys could probably get that pretty easily. If the first row has 27 and the last row has 1, that means that there's going to have to be 27 rows in this sequence. Yes, Birdie, I'm making a video, okay? Give me just a second. So now it says how many cans are there. So I'm finding S sub 27. So 27 over 2 will give me the number of pairs. A1 is 27, and the 27th term is 1. And so when we calculate that, that means there's 378 cans in all in our display. So example 6. It's finding the pieces and parts, and so when I'll do one of these, I write down what I need to find and kind of what I need to know. So I am asked to find S sub 15, which actually means I know N. I know that there will be 15 terms I'm looking for. I know A1, I would need to find A sub 15. So I'm going to come to the side, and again, I do know the common difference. I know 115 is a point that would be on our line, and I know N is 15, and I need to find A sub 15. So I'm going to plug that into my point slope formula, changing Y. So A sub 15 minus 15 will equal the common difference or the slope, and your change is in X, 15 minus 1. And so when I do that, I get A sub 15 is 71. I can now go back and plug that into my sum formula, and I find the sum of the first 15 terms of this sequence are 645. So that's the answer to number 6. I do have the answer to number 7 written here because I want you to see if you can do 7. Okay, so you will find that we're going to work 8 and that should be 10, even though it says 21. And I want you to work the problems in the right-hand column, and I'll make sure that you see all those answers. Okay? So we're kind of doing an example together, and then you're going to do an example. So let's look at number 8 here. Let's look at number 8. So as I look at number 8, I know the sum this time, actually. So I know the sum is 375. I know that there are 15 terms, so 15 over 2 will give me my number of pairs, but I don't know A sub 1, nor do I know A sub 15, so I have 2 unknowns. And we've learned that when we have 2 unknowns, we'll need 2 equations, and so that other equation is going to come from our explicit formula, or our point slope form. So we know, let me draw a line here to kind of separate those. We know the common difference. I know the first term is indicated by A sub 1, and the 15th term will be indicated by A sub 15. And so I'm going to set this up in point slope form. And what this will allow me to do is it'll allow me to do substitution. So I now know that A sub 15 minus A1 will equal 3 times 14, so what, 42. So A sub 15 will equal 42 plus A1. I can now substitute. So 375 will equal 15 over 2. A1 plus 42 plus A1. I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 2 just to get rid of that fraction. So I've got 750 will equal 15. I have 2 A1s plus 42. Divide by 15. Let's see, what's that give me? 50, I think. 50 equals 2A1 plus 42. And now when I keep solving, I'll be able to find A1, which was the goal of the problem. So A1 is 4. There's your answer to number 9, 7/20. So you could go back and look at that. All right, we'll finish the notes up here by doing number 21. So if I look at 21, this time I know the sum. I do not know the number of terms. I know the first term, but I do not know a sub n. So once again, I have two unknowns, which means I will need two equations. And so that other equation will come from knowing the explicit formula. So I'm going to skip a little room. I know the point 116 is on my line. I was given the common difference was 10. And the other point is just going to be n and a sub n. So I'm going to set up my explicit formula here, or point slope form. Notice this has the same two variables as above, so once again we can use substitution. So I'm going to solve for a sub n, so I'll get 10n minus 10 plus 16, so a sub n will be 10n plus 6. I now can come back, and every time I see a sub n, I can plug in 10n plus 6. In that same step, let's go ahead and just multiply by 2 so I don't have that fraction in there. And I'm going to substitute. So 816 will equal n times the quantity 10n plus 22. I'm going to distribute the n. Now ask yourself, what kind of equation is this? It's a quadratic equation. And we know we can solve a quadratic equation by setting it equal to 0 first. And then I can factor complete the square, quadratic formula. There's all kinds of different ways to solve this problem. I see first, though, that I'm going to divide both sides by 2 because everything there is divisible by 2, and that way I'm going to be working with lower numbers. Oops, this should be a minus here. Okay. So let's come down and let's use quadratic formula. So I'm going to kind of skip a little bit. I got my work everywhere. I don't like that. It's not quite the beautiful Hawaiian waterfall like. So instead of x, I'm going to say n equals. And I'm going to set up quadratic formula. So negative 11 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. And I know that means negative 11 plus or minus 91 over 10. And I get two answers here. I get 8 and negative 51, which comes to say, what are we finding here? We're finding n, which is the number of terms. So the number of terms can't be negative. We can't have negative 51 terms. So our answer here is n is 8. And so I'll leave 22 up here for just a second so you can see the answer there is 36. And so that should let us get through these problems. Again, make sure you go back and work these through because you have... Hold on, Brody. I'm almost done. Because you will see that we have the answers here. That way you can check your work. I'm thinking about making some Zoom conferencing for you guys to be able to ask questions. So email me right now if you have any, and I hope you have a great day.